Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Shawn Murphy. My guest today is Chris DiPaola. He is the president of 96.7 The Buzz. It is a local community nonprofit radio station, which city of license is Ashaway, Rhode Island, but it serves a portion of Rhode Island. I guess you would say the southern portion of Rhode Island, or it's actually smaller than that as far as its serving area, correct?
Right. There's something called a primary contour, or your city grade contour in FM radio, and Ashaway, the north end of Westerly, and a bit of southeastern Connecticut. But you can actually hear the radio station if you've got a decent FM radio all throughout southern Rhode Island. Of course, you've got to park your car a certain way if you're heading towards the University of Rhode Island. It has a pretty decent signal on Route 138 heading towards the east, and it does hit portions of southeastern Connecticut as well.
Now, I had you mention the website as we went into the break before the last segment. Websites, I know for me, and as you know, I work for a regional radio station, for profit. I do a morning show. For me, social media and the website, but when I say social media, I mean Facebook and Twitter and all that, plus the website is I think, very critical to the success of a radio station. You just can't dismiss the fact that social media is a fact of life now. But when you're talking about nonprofit radio, is it also a factor, at the very least, in the promoting of your station and being involved in the community? Do you find it as an asset or a tool for you to use?
Absolutely. I think in this day and age, you can't be without one of those things. It's really necessary if you're going to be actively involved in radio, or now even any type of business, whether it be nonprofit, corporation, or business. You've got to have some kind of link to social media. Facebook is probably, at this point, the most important out of the social media.
And I would argue that it could even be more important than the station's own website. And I mean that for mine and yours, because it's more interactive. People are on it more. They can respond back more, much more interactive than just your typical website.
Oh, I agree 100%. When you say social media, I'm thinking of, as you said, Facebook and Twitter, but the station's own website, absolutely, or any organization's own website is the most powerful and dominant force.
So apparently, even in nonprofit radio land, you could still have a link to stream live. So even though you're serving a small local community and it is nonprofit, isn't the fact that people can listen live online on the internet blur really what is local community radio? Because every radio station that you can listen to online is available everywhere on the planet that has an internet connection.
Yeah, I don't know if I would use the word blur, though. I think it's almost an enhancement. There are a lot of people from the community that enjoy 96.7 The Buzz, and they leave the community, whether they're commuting to work or they have places to go. And we have a very active society. They're on the go, and people are going everywhere these days.
Right.
And with the magic of iPhones,
right.
And
by the way, mention that you have you can download an app too. I mean, it may be a nonprofit, but you are plugged into technology, not only social media, but also apps of it available. I have your app on my iPhone, as a matter of fact.
That's right. So not only can you hear it on a computer, but you can take it wherever you go on the phone. The other amazing thing about listening online is, other radio stations can do this too. We can actually track how many people are listening in at one time.
Cognizant of the fact that people might be listening online and knowing that they could be listening anywhere, you have a habit of saying Eastern, just in case you don't know where they're listening at.
Right. Well, for a show like it's called The Broken Radio. For a show like The Broken Radio, definitely. And I know Lauren has his own website for The Broken Radio, but I look at some of those web numbers, and it might not sound like a significant amount, but because they're all listening at the same time, and I see like 1,500 hits at one time, and I'm thinking this is a 100-watt nonprofit, low-power FM station. I think that's pretty darn good. Absolutely.
Even though it's a nonprofit station and you're serving the local community, can a person earn a living running a nonprofit station? I know that your situation is a little unique because you have other ventures and you also have a for-profit, but if a person was running a nonprofit, could a person earn a living doing that?
And the person running that nonprofit is basically an employee, legitimately, which is what I am. I'm an employee of the Buzz Alternative Radio Foundation. And yes, there are many cases of it. A big powerhouse of a nonprofit station, 100,000 watts in Boston, Massachusetts, is WGBH. And if you take a look at their annual salaries and payrolls that they pay out, it's through the roof. Well worth it, too, by the way. I know there's many people who support WGBH, but that's an example. There's a lot of stations like that. Also, NPR radio stations, National Public Radio, that fall under that same category. And all of the people that you hear, whether it's Card Talk or All Things Considered in some of those popular NPR shows, they're all getting a paycheck. And as long as the corporation itself, the nonprofit corporation, is not making a profit and it can account for all of those expenses, then it is a legal nonprofit corporation.
Very nice. Now let's talk about when you talk about community radio, obviously as we are getting into the warm weather now, you're going to probably be even more out and about, plugged in. There are more community events that actually happen in the summertime because there's all kinds of things that go on in the summer. Let's talk about some of the things that you and your station are involved in the community.
Well, we just had a great broadcast from the Mesquamaket Spring Fest, which was a 3-day festival that took place at the Mesquamaket State Beach. And that was a community event to bring money into the Mesquamaket area so they can have free events all summer. So we continue to be involved with the Mesquamaket all summer long. Area fairs like the North Stonington Agricultural Fair.
So you move into Connecticut and stuff too, as long as it's within your general listening area.
That's right. And also we get approached by many nonprofit organizations and schools too. There was one time when we did a live broadcast from Career Day at Charahoe High School, and one of the fine teachers who's now retired, but Judy Colucci over there, had us over there, and we actually broadcast live from the different classrooms. It was like the radio station went to each class.
Wow,
so
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a field trip for you, and something different for the students, right?
It certainly was, and they enjoyed it a lot. They all got to talk on the radio, and it's very educational for them too.
Are you more active, obviously, in the summer than you would be in the winter, even being a community-based radio station?
Well, you would think that would be the case, but we do live in such a vibrant area. The Westerly, Stonington area, even Ashaway, they have a holiday village stroll every year where people can walk around and get tours of some of the old houses in the neighborhood. And they also have events that take place in historic downtown Westerly, and the Downtown Business Association, which is also a nonprofit corporation, will have events like their own holiday stroll. And even coming up this week, I should mention, I don't know when this is airing everywhere, so it might not be this week, but the end of May, Memorial Day weekend, a huge event in the Westerly area is the Virtue Arts Festival, which takes place in Wilcox Park.
Every event that your station is involved in, do you usually put it on the website?
We try to put as much on the website as we can, although our website is fairly new because we've only been doing the alternative rock format with this radio station for about 5 or 6 months now. It's kind of in its infancy, even though the radio station has been around longer than that.
Right.
So the website is slowly evolving and developing. So when you go to thebuzz967.com, there are many parts of it that are still under construction, but if you continue to go there, you'll notice that more and more will be updated, including photos as time goes on.
And I would assume that if you go to the website, you would also be able to find a link to go to the station's Facebook page too, so they can get more interactive there, things of that sort, correct?
Yes, there actually is also I know for a fact on the front page that there's a Twitter update. So
it's built right into
right into the website. So if there's something going on as far as the radio station is concerned, we can just go into our Twitter account and update Twitter, and automatically it will show up on our webpage.
So go check out the website, go like their page on Facebook, download their app. It's not just on iPhone, is it on Android and BlackBerry too, or is it?
Well, we have purchased the iPhone app. If you know how to do it, and you're able, here's how you do it. You go to thebuzz967.com, and if you go into the Listen Live, actually there's a mobile stream section. There are instructions of what to do if you have any phone other than the iPhone.
Okay.
If you've got a smartphone like I have, or
Gotcha.
if you've got one of the, this is an Android too,
Right.
but if you got one of those other phones, you are able to do it. You just have to put in the exact URL.
Chris DiPaola, president of 96.7 The Buzz, a local community-based nonprofit radio station. We learned a little bit about nonprofit and community radio today, so it was a pleasure having you on the show.
It was a pleasure being here, Shawn. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for another edition of For the Record. I'm Shawn Murphy. We will see you next time. Take care.